Hello, and welcome to another This is the Music podcast. This week, I'm joined by Nathan, Ryan, and Josh of the Rafters, who are an East Lancashire punk rock band formed in Blackburn, Lancashire in 2019. 2021 has already been a busy year for the band, with the releases of 3 new singles, Reasons, Be Forever, and Desire. All 3 songs are brilliant, with Desire and Reasons both being a This is the Music song of the day. So thanks for coming on today, lads. How are we all doing?
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for having us. Good.
Steady away.
Steady away. Seems to be more positive. It's good to see people in beer gardens. Drove past Dog In Raz in Belthorne. We were all on it. Not good on you.
I'll be in there Thursday.
What about you, Josh? Have you made it to the pub yet?
No, I'm booked in tomorrow night.
Oh, nice.
It's a shame having to book in it. Disaster booking.
That's yeah, but yeah, we're going. I don't know why. Do you have to book? We are booked in for a place in town. It used to be an absolute hellhole. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, it's still like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same round where I am. We have to book in as well if we want to go. So it's a bit of a pain, to be honest, trying to find a spot. But hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe find a spot sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's it.
As long as it's not raining, that's fine.
Definitely. Always a balance. So can you tell everybody how the band started, how you all met, and how you got the name of the band?
Yeah. Nathan, over to you.
Well, do you want to say how we met, or?
Yeah, go on. How did me and you meet?
You seen me play an awful gig, didn't you, when I was about 17, maybe 18?
Yeah.
My dad was in a band. My dad were in a mod band called The Itch, and they did really well. And I'd blagged my dad to say, "Can I play guitar and sing?" And mine wasn't awful, but the guys who were singing with me, it were like karaoke, and it were awful, weren't it? So then we're outside with Josh, and then Josh was like, "Oh, I play drums." So then I was like, "Let's be friends."
That started another band. That was about 11 years ago now.
Yeah,
I think we were 19.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. And then I know Ryan because Ryan was in a band called Middle Finger Salute, and I was always extremely envious, beyond belief, that he was in a band, because you were in a band when we were really young, so 16.
Yeah.
Watching you support my dad at King George's, and they were all sort of. I didn't get it at the time. I was an angry young chav, I'd say. I was confused. I knew I wanted to be up there, but I didn't want to be screaming and shouting. So I was like, I don't really know what's going on. But then, so Raz was always on my agenda. So then when I'd got all these songs together and stuff, I'd sort of text Josh, we're close friends anyway. So we'd been practicing and jamming, and said, I've got a bass player, Raz. And then you knew Joe. Basically, we just all, it was like a super group. I'd sort of pick Raz because he's mint, and I'd pick Joe because he's mint. And Josh already knew him, and he's class. And I just scrape it. I scrape back. I blag it. I blag it.
Was there any more questions in all that? Did we cover it all?
The Rafters.
Yeah, the Rafters.
Now, I've got 2 different versions of this story. There's the interesting one, and then there's the actual story, I think, isn't there?
Tell the interesting one.
Tell the interesting one first.
No, the interesting one is obviously the Rafters venue in Manchester that Joy Division used to play at. And I thought this was the actual story, and we're named after that. But the other story I've heard is that, Nathan, you just stood in the garage. You were looking around like, what should it be called? Should it be called like the wheelbarrows, the door, the rafters? And you're like, oh yeah, the Rafters.
No, oh my God, you've actually jogged my memory, because I swear I was looking at that is actually true. So where Joy Division played, a band called the Rafters. But when someone asked me last time, I'd forgot. So I just said, because I was looking up at, so you're right. No, Joy Division played there. And I was like, the Rafters. But I always think like it's like naming a child, that's just the name after a bit.
Yeah.
But that's
true. There's some bad names out there, but I think it works as a name.
It's a good name.
I like the something.
Yeah. It was always going to be the something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's better. Something or Nat Griff's High Flying Turds.
yeah, that was an option.
Is that venue still there? As I'm down in the humble south, I wouldn't have a clue.
No, I think it got knocked down before we were born, probably.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
It was like an historic venue. I think it was the first. I was watching a documentary about Joy Division, and I think it was like one of the first places that they played. A summit. I might be lying about that. I'm not sure. But
okay.
But yeah, that is the story. Yeah.
So
we'll go with the interesting one.
Yeah, I found that really interesting. To be honest, that's really
me too. Me too.
I really did.
I did too, because I never even knew that story.
There you go. So it was an educational as well, this podcast. We've got it all going on.
I didn't even know that's why we were named that. That's good, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we've made a very good start to this, I think.
There you go. Happy days. So I'm guessing, obviously, the Joy Division probably had a bit of an influence on you growing up. Is that true? And were there any other bands that had a big impact on you guys at all?
Ooh. Should we?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, my dad used to play Joy Division, and I didn't get it. I was about 11, 12, and I didn't understand his voice. I didn't understand why they were seemingly so dark and angry. And then I think a few years later, it all clicked for me anyway. Nathan, I don't know. Are you a big Joy Division fan? Because there isn't that much to go at in terms of like back catalogue. There's only 2 albums, and then
I find the story of Ian Curtis probably more interesting than the actual music. I like the darkness of it all, to be honest. I like a tune or two, but I'm not a massive Joy Division fan, to be honest. I wouldn't sit down and listen to a Joy Division album. I'd end up sticking my head in an oven. Right. Tuesday night.
Yeah. I like that Joy Division became something else as well, something completely different. And from what Joy Division did, then which was like post-punk, then became New Order, which was then like started a completely new genre.
Yeah.
I like the story of it.
Yeah, sure.
I prefer Joy Division to New Order, I'd say. Yeah.
Raz,
but
you like your. I'd say we've all got a bit different sort of music tastes. I'd say.
Yeah. Raz, you're into like American punky stuff, aren't you? And what are they called? What's that band called? Who am I thinking of? Rancid. That's the one. Yeah.
I'm joking. I've never heard of them.
You've never heard of them? Of course you've heard of them.
Rancid. No. For me, probably The Jam, Weller, Buzzcocks massively. When I was young, I saw Twisted Wheel play Sport Oasis, Manchester band, and I was like, that is unbelievable. But I was really lucky. I was brought up in an environment around music, and I was watching my dad practice at from 6, like in a practice room. So I was always brought up with it. So I was always lucky. But probably the Buzzcocks really had a massive effect on me when I heard them. But then I like a lot of other stuff as well. A lot of stuff with lyrics and things like that. John Lennon.
Wilco Johnson.
Wilco Johnson, obsessed with Dr. Feelgood. Do you know what? I actually lost my mind when I first saw Dr. Feelgood. Lost the plot. just Wilco Johnson playing guitar. I was like, wow. I got to meet him, didn't I? Remember? Do you know I got to meet him?
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to buy a book and get it signed, but I didn't buy a book because I'm cheap. I just went round and shook his hand, and then I thought, I'll go around again. I said, "You twin." I did in Readers. They were doing a guitar demonstration. So
I do remember that.
Quite diverse.
Yeah, interesting that you've mentioned Twisted Will there in particular. I think they're a band. I mean, I'm a big, massive fan of them myself, and for me, they're a band I think that have really gone sort of under the radar quite a lot.
Massively. I think a lot about to do with that's probably Johnny Brown's Demons.
Yeah,
maybe, but musically, the first album it's just me all over, and I probably try, and that's probably had the biggest influence on the way that I write these songs and stuff like that, and the imagery that he wrote and stuff. But yeah, massively gone under the radar. Such a shame, really, because I think his second album were some it was just off his head, I think.
Yeah, we'll leave it there on that one.
Absolutely off his tits. But yeah, I got to meet him once, and I was upset.
Yeah, he was. I was there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Oh wow, some great influences there, and interesting. Some of the ones have already got on there as well. Bands that maybe people have probably forgotten about a little bit as well. But all classics and legendary bands, I think, in their own right. So I think I may already know the answer to this because you've mentioned about parents and stuff playing in different bands. So we won't count them as such in this. But can you remember what the first gig was that you ever went to?
Yeah, mine was Motorhead. It was an experience.
Golden.
Excellent.
With your mum?
Definitely. I was 14, Manchester, Apollo. Yeah. It was so loud, I didn't even know what the songs were. They were playing Ace of Spades. And I was like, what's this? What's this? I don't even know what this is. Yeah. And I just remember after every song, Lenny was like, turn up the volume.
Turn it down. Can't even myself think.
But that was my first gig.
Nice. And what about you, Josh?
I can't remember. I have. I used to go to a lot. One of the first gigs I ever went to was in a venue was Stiff Little Fingers in Blackburn.
I was at that gig.
In fact, that I was Nathan. You were with me that night. We were only 16.
Yeah.
But I think that year I'd been to Leeds Festival for the first time as well. And the first band I saw at Leeds Festival was the Ordinary Boys with Preston. What's he called?
Yeah.
Was this before he went on Big Brother and?
This must have been 2005, 2006, and I got to Leeds Festival with my dad, and we were only staying for one night. We were sleeping in the back of the transit van, and I think we got there like mid-afternoon, and we went to see. They were just on. We got the program thing, and Ordinary Boys were just coming on. So we went and watched them. And I used to really like, in fact, the first Ordinary Boys album is fantastic. It's a bit ska. It's a bit, there's trumpets and all sorts going on. And that might have been the first band I ever proper saw, I think. Maybe it might have been Stiff Little Fingers, but.
Who were the headliners that year, Josh? At Reading? Leeds, sorry.
God, this is half my life ago now. That's bad, isn't it? I think that year we saw Franz Ferdinand, Morrissey. Who was the headliner? I can't even remember. I know I saw Radiohead one year. I saw Arctic Monkeys one year, but I think they were later. I'd have to ask my dad. I can't remember. It might have been Killers. I saw them one year as well. Oh no, I know who it is. Sorry. I've got there. It was Razorlight.
Oh wow, how
It was
how that-
Razorlight. Their heights, yeah, because Razorlight were massive for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It was Razorlight headlined, and we left. We didn't watch them. We went to go and watch Ash instead in the tent.
Yeah, I
And
definitely
Ash.
over it.
Ash were fantastic. Yeah, so that was so probably Ash would be the first headlining band that I ever saw. Yeah, they were very good. Johnny Borrow used to wear white jeans, and that always put me off him.
Yeah, never a good look on stage. That is it. The the white.
No, ask Nathan's dad because he used to wear them as well.
No.
I've worn him for a gig, haven't I? Remember?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Long
King
time.
George's Hall,
Yeah.
supporting Bruce Foxton.
Oh
That was
wow.
why he didn't talk to us.
Yeah, no
Bass player.
wonder he didn't like us.
And what about you, Nathan? Can you remember your first gig?
Yeah, well, probably like Josh said, like I used to watch a lot with like I know like my dad's lot, you know, Stiff Little Fingers, From the Jam, Buzzcocks. I was lucky I got took to a lot of gigs when I was little, you know, when I wasn't supposed to probably be in there. So I can't really remember, but yeah, probably one of those gigs when I was younger. Maybe Stiff Little Fingers, which is not a bad one to watch.
Stiff Little Fingers, and I know they're in their 60s now, but you go and watch them now, and they're one of the best live bands out there.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. They're so good, and I think he'll keep playing until the day he dies. Jake Burns, he's a machine.
Okay, I'm
Good band.
I've never actually seen them live, but maybe I'll have to make it one of my ones to watch once we get back to live gigs and stuff now. So obviously your single "Slipping Away" featured on the legendary TV show, football show even, Soccer AM. Where were you when you found out that the song was being used as a feature on the show?
Well, it was Fenners that got in touch and said, "Listen, like I like it," but I pestered him like mad. So probably in the pub when I got the first text back and I was bouncing around. But then he's been in touch since, like about 2 weeks ago, saying that like we'd sent him. Oh, it was reasons that I'd sent him, but I'd wrote a letter this time. Do you know? Because he wasn't coming back to me, so I'd wrote a letter. I know he's proper busy, but
you need to leave that man alone. Mate.
Yeah, I keep sending him love letters.
Leave him alone. Pestering him.
My next letter will be restraining order. I get back. Stay away, psycho. But yeah, I'd recently I'd penned a load of like handwritten letters to some various different people. You know. Sent them off, see what happens, see what we get back. I think that's the way to do it. You know, pester. You need to do something different rather than just texting people and messaging them on Instagram. I think everyone can do that, but the way I see it is that you need to be something different. I've got some other plans up my sleeve that I'm going to pull out.
So with Reasons, was that to get into like featuring like when the goals were going in, or was that to get you guys actually on the show?
I'd asked for it. Could it feature where the goals are going in? But even better would be, imagine if we got on, like it'd be insane. But we'll see. Yeah, see what happens.
Okay, so 2021 obviously has already been a very busy time for you guys. We mentioned at the start, you've released Reasons, Be Forever and Desire. What I would like to know is, do each of you have a favourite out of them 3 songs?
Oh, good question.
Favourites to listen to or favourite to play? I've flipped it.
You've done, mate. I'm not prepared.
There you go.
Let's go both.
All right, okay. Anyone could jump in while I think about this if they want.
I'm just gonna say reasons for both.
Yeah.
Reasons for both?
Yeah, just for the energy.
Yeah.
More energy, it's fun to play.
Easy. I only play about 4 chords in it, so
yeah.
I only know 4 chords, which is good.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Reasons for me is very difficult to play. There's there's two parts in the song which are hard to play live. But I think that's probably the best song out of the three, like as a whole. I like Be Forever, and I always, since the first time you ever played it to me, I like that song. Before it was just a chorus in the beginning, weren't it?
Yeah.
I've always liked that song. I like Desire as how it sounds like that's the studio recording. I think it sounds big and I think we do that justice when we play it live.
Sure.
Yeah. I would say, Be Forever is probably my favourite of the three, and then but Reasons to play live because it's difficult, but it's enjoyable. Go on? What's yours now? What's your favourite?
I think I've already given my answers to this on Instagram when I made Desires my song of the day. And I put in there that it had the like I thought it had like the guitars made it sound a little bit like BRMC a little bit, and I like the drums on it and the bass line as well. That's what, and it's not just because it's the latest single, by the way. But just for that really, I just like everything about it. It sounded really good as well on the live stream that obviously came out a couple of days ago as well.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't know. I think that surprises me a little bit. I think Reasons has been the best received, or have I got that wrong?
I think it has.
Yeah. They've all been absolute gems, Josh. So
yeah,
I agree with that definitely.
No, I'm only joking. They've all gone down well, haven't they? It's been well received. None of them have been slated. No one would slate them, would they? Until you get massively known, then people start slating. But at the moment, everyone's pretty because it's quite scary putting something out that you've created. I think that you're quite vulnerable to stuff. If you that's you, isn't it? You've created something.
Yeah, because when we're doing it, mate, we just think it sounds good in practice room.
Yeah.
Like, you take a recording on your phone, you video it, you get a voice recording, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a verse there, there's a chorus, there's a little bridge. It sounds all right. It's a song, it's structured. And then you go into studio, and that's so much fun.
Yeah.
And you just get a bit carried away with it, don't you? But then there is that element that maybe, when you do release it, what if no one listens to it? What if no one likes it?
Yeah, no, totally understandable there on that. But I think as Nathan said, I think they've all three songs have been really, really well received at the minute. So hopefully, as you go on, long may that continue.
Yeah.
So
it will because I think we are going to go. We're recording again in a few weeks, so
yeah.
We're going to try and get another couple of songs done in the next month or so.
Nice.
We're closing in on having an album's worth at some stage.
Fantastic. Sounds like it's going to be a busy couple of months and a really exciting time for you guys.
Yeah.
So, where does the inspiration then come from the writing of the songs? I mean, Reasons, for example, covers a range of topics. There's a bit of anger and maybe confusion in there. And I think I've read a quote somewhere from you, Nathan, that it says the song mentions your old postman. How did he end up in the song?
The old postman. Is that the postman? No, the postman was it was at the beginning of lockdown when I literally had no faith. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the scam. Do you know with the PPE scam where they'd ordered it and there was a bit of backhanding going on and they ordered it wrong and it came back and I was just so fuming with everything. And then my next door but one neighbour, she's a woman, and I was chatting to her outside about how angry I were at like the government and stuff. And then she said, a bloke who I've been working with for a long time has been sacked for like stealing birthday card money and stuff. And I was like, what is everyone's problem? You know, kind of, the Royal Mail. You know, so I just think it was just a bit of a cheeky idea, really, that I wrote into the song. Really, I weren't actually going to put it in, but then the producer were like, "Yeah, the good lyrics." Then, so I just thought, "Oh, keep them in."
It's a clever line, though, isn't it?
I think he'll get the sack.
Yeah, I think he'll get the
Right
sack.
round.
Yeah. No, I think it's a clever line. Apart from it doesn't rhyme. it's the only line in the entire song that doesn't actually rhyme. But I think it's smart. I still had no idea what the story was behind that. I'm learning here as well.
We're all learning.
We're talking about songs that I'm in this band and I didn't even know this. There you go.
There you go. We said at the top, we're not just music, we are educational material as well. So win-win all round, I reckon. So we've obviously touched on this a couple of times, but you've obviously recently played a secret gig for Sunbird Records, which I thought was fantastic, and I really loved the energy that was shown by you guys when you was on stage. If you haven't seen it yet, head over to the band's YouTube channel to hear it, and you won't be disappointed. So I'm guessing that live gigs are central to the sounds and the ethos of the band. Is that fair to say?
So this is the thing. We've only actually done 2 live gigs, you know.
Wow, really? I generally had no idea. That surprises me. Looking at that, at what you played, we just mentioned there.
So we recorded 3 songs before.
Gig, really. That as a gig, yeah.
Yeah. We recorded the first 3 songs. That the batch was slipping away.
Yeah.
Ghost Train and Don't Waste My Time. We recorded them in, I want to say summer 2019, and we didn't actually do a gig until October. October was our first gig of 2019. I then went traveling for 4 months. I went away, came back in March of last year, 2020, and we immediately went on lockdown. So we haven't been able to gig up until October of last year, when you could go to a venue and have like table service. Yeah. So the pubs open. We did a gig in Preston supporting a band. So that was the second gig we've ever done. And then what you saw on that live stream is the 3rd gig.
Right.
So gigging wise, we're all very well gigged in other bands in the past, 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
But as this band, we've only actually done 2 live gigs to audience.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
As I say, I wouldn't have known, generally wouldn't have known that. As I say, it was full on. And so there's a lot of energy as well, that's personal opinion here. That's what I love to see, because you can't really fake it on stage, can you?
No.
Like when you're playing live, like you can obviously overdub or whatever in the studio, but live, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, like, it's sort of when you're singing songs, like the songs that mean something to us, that we've created them, like the lyrics that I've written, like we've done it together as a group, and I just feel like I've been so much more passionate because I believe what I'm saying. You know, I'm sort of got an angry, like, it's good for me. I like sort of release emotion through. You know, I'm happy as Larry all the time, and then I get on stage and I'm like with small man syndrome. I'm like, really, like, come on, you know. So, but you can't really take that, you know. Being so angry about stuff. I don't even know what I'm angry about sometimes. But you know what I'm saying? Horseman.
So I'm guessing that obviously for the rest of this year, now that we're getting back to some sort of normality, that you're going to be looking to try and get as many gigs booked in as you can, unless you've already got some. Or
we've got some in. The promoters haven't really said, they haven't announced them yet, so I wouldn't want to announce anything. But we have got some. October we booked 2 gigs. One in our hometown, one further afield, in the Midlands. But they're going to be big gigs. The stuff that we've done, that we've recorded, we're hoping that it's going to, you know, we'll get some good gigs off it, I think. Well, we already are starting to get some good gigs, so yeah.
Fantastic. So what would you say that makes you guys stand out as a band? Why should we go and listen to you?
I'd probably answer it. We're honest, passionate, catchy songs. I think we're doing something that other people aren't musically. Going back to basics, but with a little twist. Back to basic punk rock and roll, but with a modern twist, I'd say. And if you see us live, we're just give it death. You know, it's life or death on the stage, I think. Yeah.
So, great answer there with the last question about why people should listen to you. A bit of a sort of a new music question, really. What sort of music are you listening to at the moment, or are you into the bands that you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast that have influenced you? Are you still sort of, just listening to them, or is there anyone else at the minute that's catching your eye at all?
I'm going to take this question right away because I've got a band who are fantastic, who I found on, I want to say, Songbird HQ.
Yeah,
I know what you're going to say immediately.
You know, Ryan, because I think you like them, because I think that's a bit more of your cup of tea, like me. The band are called Aerial Salad, which...
Nah, that's not them.
Oh! Right. Well, the band are called Aerial Salad, which is an awful name for a band. I'm sorry. Terrible name for a band, but they're fantastic. They're really, really good. They've got 2 albums out. One of them's just been taken off Apple Music, actually, and I don't know why. It's been split into a singles rather than it's a full album. But they're excellent. I'm also listening to loads of DMX at the minute. Rest in peace. And that's about it for me.
How about you, Ryan?
Shame. Shame is a big one. The new Shame album you got me to, didn't you? Love Shame.
Yeah, I like Shame.
Yeah. What are the band called? The band from Dublin. They sound like Shame.
Clockworks.
Clockworks.
Yeah, they're really good.
Clockworks are fantastic.
Really good.
Yeah. They need to get recording an album because it's going to be a banger. Especially what's that new? It's not the newest song. It was the last single, and it starts and the line is, "It was Tuesday and it was bleak." What? I can't remember what the song's called. Enough is never enough. Is it called?
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah.
Brilliant song. That it's got some great lyrics in it. The last verse of the song, or the outro of the song, is genius. Lyrically, smart band. I hope they do well because they're decent. They're really good. Irish. There's a lot of Irish bands out at the minute that are doing really well. Fontaines is one. Murder Capital. Yep. They're fantastic as well. What are you listening to, Nathan?
I would say recently. Yeah, well, a lot of that at the moment. I've got a 4-month-old child, so it's more Dancing Shapes. No, it's Dancing Fruit. Let me tell you that watermelon.
Baby
He
Shark.
mad for that. He goes, no, we're not on Shark yet. Christ, you'll have a
Baby Shark.
Not recently, I'd say probably Fontaines had a massive impact on me lyrically. I think they're unbelievable, like poems. See, I'd said before, I'm a school teacher, and I've used some of their work as sort of guided reads in my class. You know, like things about repetition and the way that they sort of construct and write the songs blow me away. Is it too real for you? I was like, I love that. Latham's from Wigan. He's got an unreal voice. Love them. Like you said, Clockworks. And then I've been obsessed with Supergrass' first album, Asha Coco, 1994, 95 maybe. First Supergrass album. I had it on this morning walking to work, and it's frightening. Punk. Good. But
I want to drag one more that I've been listening to loads recently is Amazon's first album from a few years ago. That thing is an absolute masterpiece. It just sounds enormous. It's like stadium music in your ears. Brilliant album. Can't remember what it's called. Amazon's first album.
Yeah. Good shout.
Cracker.
some absolute great answers in there, and obviously people should listen to your music first. But if you have got spare 5 minutes,
yeah, if you've got
then obviously check their bands out.
If you've got a spare 5 minutes, put Fontaine's DC on by all means. But yeah, go and listen to Reasons right now. It's available in all outlets. We are available for birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, christenings, weddings, funerals, anything you want. We'll be there. Book us.
So, if you guys were creating a supergroup made up of 5 musical legends, who would be in it?
I'd say we pick one each.
Yeah, go on then. Oh, no. Right, you pick one and then I'm going to work off it. Go on. You pick one now. Well, I know you're going to say.
I'm going to go for frontman. I'm going to say Kurt Cobain.
Oh, Kurt Cobain. Interesting.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
No, I wasn't. I was expecting Paul Weller. Paul Weller. Right, so what are we saying then? Are we going to say 2 guitarists, 1 bassist, 1 drums?
Yeah.
Classic lineup.
Right. Okay, so I'll go. I'm not going to pick the drummer. I'll leave that to someone else. You should have picked the drummer, actually. I'll pick a guitarist. I'm going to go. Let's have Kurt Cobain and let's have John Squire.
Yeah.
So the Stone Roses. Let's have that.
Interesting.
Oh, I had a better one than that now.
Bass player John Entwistle. I'd say John Entwistle if I can.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll pick a guitarist.
Yeah,
Johnny Moore,
guitar. Johnny Moore and John Squire in the same band. Oh my God, there'd be an explosion. There would be an explosion. There'd be. Oh, Manchester City Centre would be on fire.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that though? Those two with Kurt Cobain singing. Would that even work?
Probably not. No.
It'd be fun watching it though.
We haven't even got a drummer. Right. Well, let's. How wild would go with a drummer for these lot?
Ringo Starr.
No, get Stuart Copeland in there just to do some outrageous Jamaican dancehall drum beats. Stuart Copeland. Yeah, let's do it. Police drummer. Johnny Moore, John Squire, Kurt Cobain, and John Entwistle.
I want a great combo.
I want to say it'll never work, but it'd be amazing if we could get that up. Like as holograms or something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Half of them are dead.
I'm sure that people would have paid, or maybe would for the hologram, would pay good money to see that. So
I don't think I've ever seen a supergroup. No. Did anyone? Oh, do you remember when Queens of the Stone Age did that supergroup with Dave Grohl and Josh Homme and him out of? Did anyone get to see that? Raz, did you get to see them? Crooked Vultures.
What were they called? I can hear the song in my head, but what were they called?
Crooked. These Crooked Vultures, I think they were called, something like that.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
I didn't see them. I know what you mean, though. They were good.
Anyway, sorry, I went off on one then.
So that is unfortunately the end of the podcast. Thanks very much to the Rafters for joining me. I've had a great time, and I hope that you three have as well. And I hope that everyone is listening in to this and has enjoyed it, and obviously finding out a little bit more about the band, how they started, their musical influences, and a little bit of their backstory and their 3 recent singles, which we've already established are absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to follow the band across their social media channels, buy their records, and get down to a gig. I wish the band every success for the future, and from what I've heard so far, I think that that's definitely going to happen. To those still listening, please click subscribe on your podcast listening provider and tell all of your friends. Thanks again, guys, for coming on, and we'll see you all somewhere down the road.
Thank you
so much for having us. Really appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Thank you, mate.
Thanks very much. Not a problem.
You were great. The best, great questions. Fantastic questions.